How good is this lighting? Come on! And the tree. Welcome back to another episode of the First Customer Club. We're focused on the nitty-gritty details of how innovative entrepreneurs find their first customers and get traction. And they don't get any more innovative than this guy, Mr. Misha Hanin, my friend. This episode is quite personal to me because Misha's been a real close friend for almost 7 years now. He was a mentor of my previous software company. He and his whole family have become good friends of mine. And I was actually there a number of years ago when Misha found one of his first customers. In other words, I love this guy. When it comes to digital transformation, bringing companies online, Misha is one of the top experts in the world. And I'm saying world with a capital W. Misha is the founder and visionary of DeepDive Group, doing enterprise blockchain, cybersecurity, and cloud infrastructure projects with some of the largest businesses and governments in the world. He's a member of the Government Blockchain Association, one of 500 Microsoft certified masters, and a Microsoft most valuable professional. If you want to bring the newest technology to the biggest businesses, this is your guy to follow. Although sometimes I'd argue he's too smart. In this episode, we're going to cover Misha's unique approach to strategic partnerships, how he's succeeding and differentiating himself as a service company in 2020, his thoughts on the present and future of blockchain technology specifically, and what the heck blockchain technology even is and how it benefits business. We discuss the challenges new technologies face and how they get adopted, and the importance of messaging for all entrepreneurs who are selling new tech. Hint, stop talking tech! So tune in for some outside-the-box thinking from one of the top business technology thinkers, and watch me make my friend Misha laugh repeatedly. Take your nerd pad out, because there's some gold in this one. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you like the content, because it really helps the channel and I truly appreciate it. And remember, we're dropping new episodes and highlight clips almost daily. Okay, music. Attacking the elephant in the room. You and I have known each other for a long time, haven't we?
Where's the elephant?
You and I have been friends, I think, for about 6 years now. Is that right?
I would say actually that time flies, probably more. No, it's coming to 7, I would say. Yeah.
Coming to 7 years.
I remember this picture. I remember this time.
Yeah. And maybe you don't remember this one, but this is the closest thing too. You and me, Night at the Roxbury, Misha. Yeah, you've been a mentor of mine for a long time, man. And honestly, we're having a lot of fun in that previous picture that I show you. But you know how I thought of the first few years that I knew you. Every time we used to get together, what used to happen afterwards is I would have a headache. Literally, I would have a headache because I would learn so many things from you, and you would push me to think so outside the box, so differently. So honestly, I have to thank you for always pushing me. I've learned a lot through our friendship, man, and it's not just a mentor-mentee relationship. You're a true friend, and that's why I'm all the more excited to chat with you tonight.
Awesome, man. Actually, to be honest, I also learned a lot from you. I still learn. So no, it's the feelings are mutual. So it's cool that you found this picture. Really glad to see it. So send it over. I'm pretty sure I have a copy of it, but send it over.
I'll make sure you get it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I wanted to kind of break up this podcast into 2 parts, Misha. I wanted to talk about kind of where you've been, because I think there's some stuff that you've figured out starting your business from absolutely nothing that I want to make sure we talk about. And you've had a very unique approach, I would say, to partnerships and business development and growth as the smart guy in the room learning all the business skills. And then I also want to talk about blockchain, obviously, because you're one of the leaders, I would say, in the world in that. So So fast forward a little bit, you were a network maintenance specialist, system administrator. You had a number of different jobs as a solution architect. And I think that was your first job when you came to Canada, right? You had a job with Compugen as a solution architect. When you left Compugen, you had no, what was the mood like? What was the atmosphere like? Because you decided to jump ship, you decided to jump off the cliff. You took this big challenge that your mentor set up for you and start a business, Misha. But it's not like you had 10 customers just dying to sign contracts at that point. What did you do, and how did you find your very first customer when you first started iRangers?
Uh, it was kind of crazy move, to be honest. Okay. What I really hate in my life, it's really procrastination. Okay. So when I made the decision to move on, I said to myself, here's the deadline. This day, I will move on. No matter what. Okay. No matter what, I will move on. And I had a belief that I will find clients. And I had a strategy how I going to do this. I had ideas, I already started to prepare partnership model. You know how we work, but when I made the decision, I had no client. Okay, no clients, nothing. To be honest, Compugen came to me, and like when I said, okay, guys, I'm leaving. This is my last month. I will work for another month. Then I will go. At some point, Compugen came to me and asked me to be a subcontractor and help them, on one project. So actually, my first client was Compugen. Actually, my first invoice I sent to Compugen.
Wow.
Okay. So this is how I started. And my strategy and all the approach to work with partners actually proved to me that it was right. So I started to get clients through partnership. Okay, I believe in a partnership, huge time. And this is how it started. And partners started to bring me. At that moment, I had one partner. And after about 2 months, I got another one. I call it strategic partnership.
Yeah, is the first partner the one that I know, the big one?
Yes.
Okay. How did you? So in that partnership, I understand how a strategic partnership works, but you obviously need to have mutual benefit. I know I've asked you this question before, but why do you think? So your partner, they were doing 3 million a year. They grew it to a $13 million a year business. They were like $100 million business when you started working with them. They weren't a small fish, and you were a new, a one-man team with a whole bunch of knowledge, a bunch of valued certificates. You didn't have distribution. You didn't have customers. Why did they see benefit in working with you? Did you have a niche that was so strong that they just couldn't replicate? Or how did you make sure it was a win-win?
So definitely I came from the approach, let's do it win-win. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember the first conversation when I had with them, and I said, guys, I will never gonna touch hardware or licenses, softwares. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Okay. I'm really focusing on the professional services. And apparently they knew me. Okay. They knew my capabilities. And I said, let's do this together. Let's form a team of not just one company. Let's build a consortium. And I can. This is what I can bring to the table. Okay. And let's go with this. Like, you guys don't have this capability. I put my life get to the level where I am right now. And apparently it worked. We worked like for many years together. Okay, it wasn't just start and disappear. And it actually, the second partner, strategic partner, I was introduced to through them.
Wow.
So apparently they loved the way I operated, the way we worked. And of course, like everybody made money. Like it has to be a win-win situation on all levels, including financial.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe in philosophy: 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So whatever we do, like I always show my appreciation to people that helped me to get the deal.
Is it
Okay,
fair to
so
say that your first $1 million that you made in revenue, did most of that come from that one partnership?
not most, but more than 30%, yes.
Okay, so a good kickstart, a good
It was a
start.
huge kickstart.
You built your financial base off of a good partnership. Do you know if you were to provide advice to somebody else, how do you find a good partnership? Like, how did you know that this was the right company? Again, maybe that was a little bit luck too, but what do you think is the formula for an entrepreneur who is starting a business, who wants a strategic partnership? They can do hundreds of thousands of dollars in their first 1 or 2 years off of one good partner. What would you advise?
Don't think about money. Money will come. Like, think about how this partnership can work. Okay, what value you can bring, and how you can help your partner to grow as well. Like, it probably sounds like a cliche, but this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, like if you get into the client to the company, strategic partner that you want to have a strategic partner, always ask them how I can help. What you guys trying to build? What I can do for you? Don't think about yourself. They will do it. They will
Yeah.
do like the same. Like I'm getting quite a lot of calls now. A lot of calls from different companies, different startups that trying to go with the same mode. We want to be your strategic partner. Unfortunately, probably 65-70% of those calls, they kind of start like, Misha, how much percentage should we pay you? And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. Like, you're asking wrong question. Let's talk how we can work together, not about how we're splitting money. Like, money can be divided always. Like, you need to, first of all, you have to cook the cake before you think how you're going to divide the cake. Like,
That's honestly, this is probably the thing that I did wrong building Consultica, building my software service company, because I had lots of partners, like partners. They would call me a strategic partner, I would call them. And I honestly did also find, you said 30% of your deals came from this one strategic partner. I would say, I don't want to put a percent, but maybe amongst a few partners, 50%, maybe 50% I got myself, 50% from strategic partners, multiple. But I never took that approach, Misha, and that's probably one reason why I didn't do as many deals with partners as I thought I would, because I came at it from the perspective of how we can do projects and not thinking about how we can add value to what they're doing. I know that now. It seems obvious, but it's not. It's not when you're sitting there as the startup.
A lot of people don't think this way. Like, it really seems obvious. Like, we have really, really, really good strategic partner out of Toronto. I remember back in we were introduced by our friend back in November of 2014, and it was a phone call with those guys from Toronto, and we were talking, and like at the beginning, really at the beginning, like I was seeing beginning of the conversation, they telling me about themselves, I'm telling about us, and then thinking in my head, like, wow, it's so much overlap. Okay, we working we going after the same clients, we going from the same background, a lot of Microsoft expertise, all this stuff. Then I asked myself, okay, I want to work with them anyway. Like, let's find a way. And I asked them, like, guys, what you do the best? Like, what's your golden egg, like in your business? And at that point, they're like, we're the top experts in SharePoint. I'm like, awesome. This is the one niche that I don't want to touch ever.
Right.
It's not me. We are not touching SharePoint. But this is what we do the best. They're like, this is what we are not touching.
So you just asked.
You just need to ask. People are afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, you made it about them. You didn't make it about you. You asked them. What are they good at?
Ask them.
Where are their gaps? And you were still young and agile, and I guess that's the benefit of being a startup is you figure out where the need is and you try to work around it, right? And you were still early stage. You were still figuring out what you wanted to focus on. You knew what you didn't want to do, but I guess you treated your strategic partner almost like a customer. Like, what are your problems? Where are your opportunities? And that's really good to hear.
I actually don't like even the word customer, to be honest. I don't
agree.
like the word. And even this kind of attitude, oh, we need to treat customers in some special way. Fuck it. No, there's no special way to treat customers. You need to treat people, okay, in special ways. This is how I see it. And actually, just last week, I had a conversation with one of my friends. Then we work together. He's part of the crew, part of the tribe, I call it now.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was some topic there that we were discussing, and I said, no, consider this like it was some miscommunication in the team, okay, between multiple people, and somebody assumed that we can say this like internally, it's internal conversation, like internally in company. And my point was, no, it doesn't matter like it's internal or external. It has to be the same always. You cannot be half past pregnant. You're pregnant or not. Done. Okay? Same concept. Like, treat all conversation, all communication the same. And like, if I say something here internally, I can say the same stuff outside. Of course, I'm not talking about disclosures of confidential information,
right,
or something like that. But in day-to-day communication, like we need to consider this the same. Okay, like how we treat people, how we communicate with people, what we say, what we allow to ourselves to say.
We talked a bit about where you came from. Let's talk about where you're going. You're in Dubai right now. You're not in there to mess around. You're there for business. Your world is blockchain right now. You're the CEO of DeepDive.
No.
Time out.
I wouldn't say my world is a blockchain. it's not like I wouldn't define it this way. Okay. Um, my world right now is digital transformation. This is how I would call it. Okay. But I do believe that to make a really proper digital transformation, it's not about this crappy bullshit. Let's upgrade the version of whatever application you have. It's really to study business of your client, study business, and see how technology can help them to transform to better company, to better service, to better. Okay. I always believed in a holistic approach, not just okay, like we do this and that's it. Okay. I don't want to be in a position that, you know, like here's the hammer, so everything what I see it's nail.
Looks like a nail.
Looks like a nail, right? So what I was working on and what we currently have, I actually call it DeepDive Group. So DeepDive Group, it's a consortium of independent companies that work really close together. Okay, and they do supplement each other. So one company that you know are Rangers.
Yep.
This is how all started. So this company is focusing on the professional services, project-oriented company, everything around infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, cloud services, line of business applications, identity, like you name it, like everything that's required to make business operational from technology perspective. Another company is DeepDive Tech, DeepDive Technology. This is the company that actually, I call it application layer company. The company that comes to the business from different angle and address the business challenges through application layer, okay? And right now, yes, I do believe that the next era of technology after internet is a blockchain. So yes, DeepDive Technology is doing probably more than 80% of activities around blockchain. So DeepDive Tech, yeah, people call us a blockchain company. Okay, so we have a lot of blockchain activities, a lot of blockchain projects, so that we do. Okay, another company that part of the DeepDive group, it's a Gumbrick. Guess what is missing when we talk about technology? We have infrastructure, we have application layer, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, we need to be sure that everything from all layers, yes, that everything from all layers is actually addressed. So Gumbrick, it's a cybersecurity company that the only thing that it does is focusing on cybersecurity, on the full vertical of cybersecurity, starting from helping executives to craft roadmaps and define defined policies and be compliant and work with regulators, and going down to forensic report, code analysis, and things like that. Okay, so this is actually like those three companies. They're forming right now a DeepDive group, and this is what I'm going after, like as entire group. Okay,
yeah,
I'm developing entire group, and I'm bringing a holistic solution to enterprises from the different angles. In reality, what also happens that sometimes whenever we work with enterprises, we step in from we are not stepping into enterprise as one as one group immediately, like all three companies.
right.
Sometimes we get a call from enterprise like, Misha, we need help with this. Okay, and in this case, like when we have a discussion, we see that this is the perfect fit for arrangers. Or another way, like we last year we did a lot of activities in New York, and majority of our activities actually was triggered by deep dive technology. So blockchain stuff, application development, and because all this requires infrastructure work, cloud work. So all the cloud work, infrastructure work, all that was done by arrangers. When time came about security, it's a gun break. So this is kind of how it works, and this is how I kind of operate right now.
Yeah, what would you say is the most challenging part of being involved in all these new technologies? Because if we take blockchain or distributed ledger technology for 1 second and we focus on that, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about blockchain. I can't go a street corner without somebody saying, "Oh yeah, I'm studying blockchain." Like it is everywhere. And I know there's some reasons, and I know it's largely because of some misconceptions about how it relates to cryptocurrency. But I want to know your thoughts, and maybe I just answered part of the question. But when we look at what's actually happening, there's a lot of talk and there's not a lot of action. There's actually very few actual projects in actual businesses that are applying blockchain technology right now, at least in production. Why do you think that is? What's the biggest reason?
For sure, it's a hot topic. Okay, and so this is the time when I really missing the magic. Okay, I want one magic right now. If if I if I had an opportunity to have one wish, especially about blockchain, I would say I want entire planet forget about blockchain and let's start over. Okay, because majority of and just yesterday I was running a presentation, some webinar, and I talked about this. So it's for me it's kind of deja vu. I'm repeating it now. Majority of buzz that currently we hear in the world about blockchain related to the cryptocurrency. Okay. And I would say it's unfortunately because there is a lot of kind of negativity get created around the world of cryptocurrency. Okay, so cryptocurrency is just one small subset of the blockchain, really small. Okay, if I may, I would compare cryptocurrency as a lake and blockchain is as an ocean. Okay, small lake, by the way. It's not Ontario. um, all the blockchain as we know it today actually started back in 2009, end of 2009, beginning of 2010. This is actually when this is the time when I stepped in and started to touch blockchain. And yes, I started by myself with crypto concepts, but I was studying some cryptography. I was studying, I was fascinating about blockchain from a security perspective, not from the crypto. Crypto was, again, a side activity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all the buzz, majority of buzz that we have right now in the world, it's somehow related to crypto in a good or bad way. Oh, some company get compromised and $50 million of crypto assets get stolen. Ooh. So people make assumption, blockchain is bad. Oh, here's a new billionaire that actually made his billion on the crypto market by selling and buying crypto. Oh, crypto is financial instrument. So this is kind of how a lot of buzz get generated. On the blockchain side, if we will talk about the blockchain itself, I'm firm believer that the blockchain innovation is really bigger than internet itself. Okay, and I do believe that in the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years, we will see a huge world transformation driven by blockchain. Okay, where blockchain will start solving big, big challenges for enterprises, for huge corporations, for governments, for nations. Okay, where world will be interconnected, and right now, world is interconnected. You sit in Winnipeg, I'm sitting in Dubai. We're having this session.
Yeah.
How we do this? On internet, through internet. Okay, so internet interconnected us from a connectivity perspective. Blockchain will allow to interconnect us on a business layer perspective. Okay, so this is kind of in a nutshell what is how I see the blockchain ecosystem. Unfortunately, because and this is my conspiracy theory. Unfortunately, enterprises not jumping like all in to adopt blockchain yet because of the negative shadow of the crypto. Okay. However, we do see projects that coming up more and more from enterprises. Actually, next week we kicking in a new project for one of the biggest companies in the world that deals with recycling. So I really proud that we were chosen as a technology partner to develop a solution together with them that will help this recycling company with the supply chain of this recycling products. Okay, all that will be built on a blockchain. Okay, so we're actually going to craft a blockchain a solution for them driven by blockchain. Okay, so blockchain going to be a foundation, and all the rest, all the business logic, all that will be applicable on this foundation.
That's phenomenal.
It's coming.
Yeah. Do you feel it's also slow just because, like with any new technology, it seems like most companies want to wait to see somebody else try it first. Somebody else try and see if they fuck it up. And if nothing bad happens, if there's no regulatory or compliance issues, if the technology stack doesn't somehow change, if everything, if quantum computing doesn't find a way to hack blockchain, if nothing crazy happens, everybody else will adopt. Maybe we just need enough use cases, right? Maybe we just need the first bunch. But right now, all the use cases are in fintech, right? So I guess that's where you're trying to get those first few case studies outside of fintech. If I was you, I would promote the shit out of those case studies, and then hopefully that becomes the most profitable business unit going forward. Does that make sense?
Definitely, it makes sense. Okay, I wouldn't say that all use cases is a fintech. Like fintech probably adopted blockchain the biggest way.
Yeah.
Okay, and actually, fintech mostly adopted blockchain from through the crypto.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of getting back to this. Talking about the enterprise adoption. Okay, for sure, enterprises, there's kind of unwritten rule. Okay, unwritten law that nobody talks about it, but if you will analyze how like technology progress and get adopted by enterprises, we will see that enterprises do wait 3-5 years to see that the technology really having a ground.
Yeah, is it working?
Is it working? Blockchain already 10 years on the market. So
yeah,
time is right. Okay, so in reality, there's many different, not just use cases, different initiatives, like a lot of MVP products, a lot of POC projects, and there are many activities that actually going around blockchain. In reality, even in production, not 100% everybody moved to their production activity to the blockchain. And this is actually one of the reasons probably why blockchain is the adoption by enterprise is really slow, because all the blockchain experts, for whatever reason, believe that the enterprise will switch to blockchain overnight, like that, boom, done, over weekend even, okay? Like not so many blockchain providers really talking about the coexistence scenario, migration paths, not talking about the roadmap, how business transforms from here over here.
Yeah, I know in your presentation yesterday, you put this slide up, and I know it was one of the points you had on the screen is about the legacy systems, right?
It's about legacy systems, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
so for enterprises, it's really important to understand how blockchain will be adopted by their business, but for them, it's really important to understand how to get there and get there with their pace, not like as a big bang approach, not over weekend. They want to know that they can go there with their speed. They want to go there by the process that they control, and they also want to believe that they have a way to get back if needed. Okay?
We were talking about this just a few weeks ago. You were saying one of the key success factors that you've seen in your entire career in having success selling anything to an enterprise client is that rollback strategy. Can you explain that a bit more?
I think it's actually going really deep into the human DNA. Okay. We, like majority of us, want to know that we have options. We have plan B. Like I hate plan B. Like I hate the concept of plan B. Like if you have plan B, you already accepted the failure of plan A. This is how I say it. But enterprise, like people want to have this feeling that they have options. They wanna get understanding and believe that if something goes wrong, here's what they do. Okay. In enterprises, organizations, like the leaders there, they need to think also differently, not like entrepreneurs or startups. They always need to think about risk, and risk drives a lot of decisions in enterprises, right? So they try to avoid in all cost failures. So what I've seen over the course of my entire career, that enterprises, majority of enterprises, almost 100% of them, will do everything possible to avoid risk, even like avoid failure, even if it costs them the innovation. You know what I mean? So they would risk innovation approach over failure risk. Okay, so the new technology and the companies that actually, the vendors, providers, when they come to enterprise, and if they only talk about here's how we move forward without demonstrating or without even providing feelings that business has opportunity to go back, it's almost a failure. Now, like Microsoft started with the cloud services back in I think 2010. It was the like really kind of the first activity around cloud, like some tangible activity, like all the previous cloud moves. It was more as a beta testing. Like, let's test the water. We'll see if business will love it.
Right.
And the first message that they started to convey was like, oh, cloud only, cloud first, cloud only. Adoption of cloud at that moment was like, I don't want to say zero, but it was so slim. It was minimum, because enterprises didn't want to go do big bang approach. How you switch 60,000 people to the cloud over a weekend? No way. And even if it's technically possible, and it is possible technically, there's a lot of processes involved there. How you train people?
Right.
You're not going to train people, 60,000 people over a weekend, how to consume new services. How you train your technical staff to provide services, to provide support. Like, it takes time. How you validate all possible risks? No way, right? So those enterprises said, screw you, we're not going to cloud. We don't like your approach, cloud only. Okay. Then Microsoft did an amazing job, and they changed the message, and they even changed all the recommended architecture designs, how to go to the cloud. And they started to embed everywhere on a conscious and subconscious level the message like, oh, it's a hybrid, it's a coexistence scenario.
Coexistence.
You can take the coexistence.
Yeah.
You can have any object from your on-premise infrastructure, move it to the cloud. If you want, you can move it back. Everything can work. And then this is the time when adoption of cloud, at least Microsoft technologies, get the hockey stick. Okay, and started to grow like really like crazy. So simple adjustment of the message. Really simple adjustment of the message. Actually, from technology perspective, nothing changed since the first positioning of the Microsoft cloud or other cloud with the current positioning. Nothing changed. If we will look on this from the blockchain perspective, okay, today when we talk about blockchain, we always talk to enterprise about, okay, guys, let's see how we interconnect your business flow, your business activity. Let us study what you do now, why you do it this way. Like, let us understand all your ecosystem. So we're technically studying business of our client, and then we coming with the approach, okay, this is what could be done. This is how it could be done. And this is how technology can help. And this is the risk. And this is like it's not one-way ticket. If you don't like it, drop it. You can get back.
Yeah, because it's not new technology, right? You said it's been around for 10 years. It's
not new.
It's confusing for a lot of people. And I designed this picture for you. I want you to know if you like it. I looked just on YouTube just for what is blockchain, specifically not cryptocurrency, and specifically TED Talks. So not anything else. And there was dozens of videos. And one video that I loved specifically is called Explaining Blockchain to a Fifth Grader. The first comment that I see is to a fifth grader, this is the most confusing explanation. 121 thumbs up. So obviously we're still at a point right now where it's confusing just to understand what the heck blockchain is. Have you figured out a way to explain it to a fifth grader?
I will try.
Okay.
Let's see.
Here's the test.
Here's the test. Blockchain It's a new way of database where nobody controls the database. Nothing new. Databases will exist. It's a ledger. If you want to write something, like you want to write a note, so you write note probably on your cell phone, right? You can write a note. You can have a notebook where you write a note.
Yep.
So all the combination of those nodes, it's some sort of database.
It's
Okay.
a database that everybody trusts. I think that's an interesting part.
Trust is coming as consequences on that.
Okay.
And trust is coming because we all believe that nobody can change the record in the database. Okay. And this database, think about it. You have a notebook, the ledger. You want to write something there. I know you have a notebook. Show it.
I honestly don't right now. I'm all digital, man.
Give me a second. 1 second.
I got a cue card. How about that? Crack open another beer.
Let's say this is a notebook.
Yep.
Okay. If I write in it, it's already written, done. When you know that nobody can replace what I wrote there, change this record, and actually to get validated by multiple entities, you don't need to trust me. But the assumption is if, let's say, 5 witnesses confirming that it's legit information there, that this information is there, never changed, we tend to believe that if 6 people say that it's legit, right? And we know that it's not overwritten, it's legit. So all the new information, there's no way to change the information. We can write it, additional information, right? Simple. This is in reality blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
But the concept of the databases exists for thousands of years. Think about it. Like all the books that we read is the database of information.
Yeah. Is there a specific use case or industry that you're the most excited about? Because without us going into 50 different examples of all the different places that it could be applied, because it can be applied anywhere. But is there a place that you, Misha Hanin, is the most excited about the application of distributed ledger technology, aka blockchain?
If you ask me today, I would say I want to see blockchain, first of all, adopted by health industry, by health sector, okay? I believe it is going to be, even if it will get to the point that only health sector using blockchain, I would say we already get the maximum that we could have dreamed.
It's a win.
Okay, it's a win. The reason I say health, it's multiple reasons. Health sector, like medical records, it's really, really important stuff. Okay, right now, health records, they really fragmented and distributed. So, for example, all my blood records, my blood tests, written somewhere, and my family doctor has it. But when I go to another doctor, because of whatever reason, this doctor has no access today to those records. Now I'm traveling, I'm staying in Dubai. All my my blood tests for years was done in Canada.
Right.
if I want to see a doctor, he has no reference to compare my blood tests, my current blood test with the previous tests. Okay, so it's not interconnected anyway. So all my medical records, my medical history, technically gone. Okay, yeah, there's a ways to deal with it, retreat it, call my doctor, ask him to maybe scan. I have no idea.
Right.
Nobody ever will do it. Okay, this is really big, huge time. Okay, prescription, all the medical prescriptions, somewhere written. So this is a big thing. Like, and this is like really on a shallow level. Okay, health industry, actually health sector covers, touches almost everything: supply chain, resource management, time management, health records,
Trust and privacy issues.
trust and privacy, like everything is in the health.
Yeah.
Okay, so the moment when we will see that health sector adopting blockchain, really adopting it, then I would say entire world will start adopting it. Okay, because for example, as I mentioned, next week we're starting a new big project about supply chain, like recycling supply chain. Supply chain, health needs supply chain. All the drug shipping, like all this stuff around health, it's interfering with the supply chain. So we already will have one use case there. Let's talk about e-government. E-government, okay?
Yeah.
Like, what is e-government? Think about it. Like, we have a plastic card that shows like, oh, this is my resident card. Awesome. It's good to have it. But in Manitoba, for example, we have a medical card printed on piece of paper. Really?
A little shitty piece of paper, and I don't know what happens when you lose it, by the way.
You just go and get new one.
Give you another piece of paper.
Another piece of paper. Like, in the last 15 years, nobody ever asked me to provide photo ID together with this piece of paper.
Yeah.
Never. So think about it, how many times people abuse it, and suddenly getting even free treatment, medical treatment in Canada, just by showing this piece of paper. Think about it.
Yeah.
Talking about e-government, why we need to have so many different documents, papers, like all this stuff around it. You know, like, I really encourage you, do the search, Dubai blockchain, okay? Or
Well,
United Emirates blockchain.
I'll see a picture of you.
It's not about me. The situation, like, we see crazy adoption of the technology here, like really crazy adoption. There is a huge initiative that started, I think, a few years ago, that called paperless government. And they have to finalize all this project, paperless government, by end of 2021. The funny part, there's calculations, like financial calculations, how much money this government going to save just by being paperless.
Right.
Just guess. Look, just guess. Number. Throw it to the air.
I'm going to guess that it very well could be in the billions.
Okay, I'll help you. Let's not talk about money. Let's like have some associations. The savings will allow this government to build a new Burj Khalifa every year. It's the biggest tower in the world. Think how much money this tower costs to build? Paperless. Would you imagine paperless government? Just on paper, they made an amazing job. They calculated almost everything. They calculated even time that people spend on the road to go to the office to print one fucking document. That's useless.
But that's the business case, right? That's what's going to get blockchain adopted. That's how you're trying to position it now, right? You're not trying to position it as here's cool new technology. You're trying to position it as we're going to apply digital transformation. We're going to apply whatever it is. We're talking blockchain now because it's going to provide these executives, the C-suite, a very specific group of benefits. And I guess it's probably they're either going to make more money, they're going to save more money, they're going to become more efficient, they're going to reduce a risk that you can relate to dollars, right? It needs to be related to the comp plan in one way, shape, or form, right?
We probably need to get to the point where we not talking about money during at least 3, 4, 5 meetings with clients. It has to go about value first. Money will come on. Everybody understands that things cost. Nobody works for free. Everything costs, has some cost associated to it. It's understandable, right? So why to talk about money and why to talk about technology? Oh, we have the best blockchain that supports this and this. Who gives a shit? I had a conversation about a year ago with one company, and they brought executives brought with them to this conversation the technical expert from their side. And we started to talk about business and blockchain. We want this solution to be on the blockchain, all that stuff. And then this techie guy, Misha, how many transactions your blockchain gonna support? And my response was how many transactions are needed to make the business work?
Right.
It's not about how many transactions. You are not buying this solution because this blockchain supports this amount of transactions.
Yeah, you're not buying a coffee maker.
Yeah. When I go and I want to have a coffee, yes, I buy a coffee. Right? So we always need to talk about value. What value we bring to the table? What problem we solve? It's a value, solving a problem. We bringing a solution. It's the value. Money will come. To be honest, I've been in situations. I really been in situations, not a lot, let's be fair, where client told me their budget, that they associated the budget for the project, and they actually paid more than I expected to be paid. Okay, it's about value, not about projects. We had a client. It's actually one of our first clients of iRangers. When we did a project, big enterprise client, and I was really eager. I wanted to get this project. And in my mind, I'm I don't care, even if I'm going to lose money on this. I'll do this project. And our approach, it's always it's a fixed bid approach. I hate concept of hourly rates. If you want to really kill me, talk to me about hourly rates. No, hate it. So fixed bid approach, 99% of the projects, it's fixed bid approach that we do. So We discussed the project, discussed everything, and I voiced the number for this project. Okay, the required investment for this project. Apparently, I was underestimating. Okay, we actually needed to invest much more effort to do this project to bring like the value that the client expected.
Right.
We did it. I never in my life came to client and said, "Oh, sorry, I underestimated," or anything like that. We need to do a change request. I need more money from you.
Right.
Never did it. I always kind of suck it up. It's my deal. We delivered the project. We invoiced the client, and I got a call from the VP, from the vice president of this company. And he was so excited about the deliverables and so excited about everything. And he said to me, "Misha, I know you fucked up. You lose money. Like, I know. Like, send me the updated invoice. I will pay it. I love the deliverables."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "No, I'm not sending. It's a fixed bid approach. It was my mistake, and it's not about money. Like, I'm really glad to hear that you guys happy." Guess what? What was the next move? In the next months, we started a huge project, and we worked with this client for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I think even that year we made about $200,000 of projects for this client.
Worth it, right?
So, worth it. Like, it's not about money. And you know what? If you get fucked up by a client that really abused you on that, this is probably the wrong client.
Right. And that's going to happen.
I'm firing a lot of clients. Like, I do. Like, I want to choose clients that I work with. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are clients that I don't want to work with, and we don't. Okay. Even if they want us to do something, we only can step in again based on particular conditions.
Right.
Okay. So
yeah,
I do believe it's like it's like a tango. To dance a tango, you need a couple, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
and both parties should be in the mood that they want to dance at that moment. Okay. Otherwise, like, it's useless. It's not going to work. Okay. So if you do something and client doesn't see value in what you do, they don't like what you do, they don't like you, the relationship is not going to stay forever, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about that. And paycheck, it comes. Who cares? It comes.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies that are selling, I would consider them new technologies. Like, technology continues to innovate faster and faster all the time. Like, we're getting new things at a fast rate now compared to even 10, 20 years ago. So I see that there is a bigger disconnect between the techies who really understand the newest things and understand them well, and the business executives who are the ones that are supposed to be purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've talked about this a little bit, but I just want to know if you agree, and if it really does come down to a communication gap, do you have any ideas in terms of how we can bridge that? How do we have really strong technical people communicate well with really strong business people? How have you seen that work so far?
It's a huge challenge. And if you ask me, this is probably the most important challenge to address first. Okay, it's probably the biggest barrier for technology adoption. Okay, I'll give you one example. Like again, around blockchain.
Yeah.
Just listen to the blockchain presentations, like presentation about blockchain, how people talk about blockchain, those blockchain vendors, startups, they all talk about blockchain technology. They're describing technology. Okay, I guarantee that IBM sold blockchain solution to Walmart not by describing technology. Like for Walmart to trace back particular product, for example, this product, this bottle, if Walmart wants to know who was the vendor of this bottle, when it was produced, how it get delivered, like all the backtrack, back in the days, it took them on average 7 days to do this. Think just in cost, even if it's one person works to do all this, and it's not.
Right.
How much money it costs to business? I guarantee IBM came and said, guys, we have some technology. Don't even bother to know what kind of technology. With this technology, backtrace will be less than 3 seconds. Do you like it?
Love it.
I guarantee probably Walmart said, show me where to sign. Done deal.
Yeah. Not even ask how much does it cost, because the cost will be irrelevant compared to that
Cost
value.
is irrelevant, right? In comparison to all that. Of course, like I'm oversimplified, but
yeah.
You see the differences of the message?
Yeah.
Guys, less than 3 seconds in comparison to 1 week of work.
Yeah.
It's like business driven. It talks about savings, profitability, reputation, all that stuff. Like everything that comes together. I guarantee they didn't say like, oh, did you know, guys, that Hyperledger actually supports 15,000 transactions per second? Who gives the fuck?
What does that mean?
Actually, man, when you got a credit card, you have a credit card, right?
Yep.
MasterCard,
4,
Visa, whatever, right? Have you ever talked to your banker and asked him a question, how many transactions Visa supports on the backend?
No.
No. You were talking about values.
Yeah.
Values of the card. Oh, this card, even think how they sell it to us, right? Misha, you are traveling a lot, right? Do you want to have access to the lounges in airports? You have to have this card. It's going to cost you $500 a year. They're selling me features, okay? And they're talking about value. What kind of value this card brings to me? Oh, Misha, you're traveling. This card allows you to get savings on car rentals. This card gives you pass to the lounges. This card gives you a medical insurance.
Yeah, right.
Right? They're not talking about, oh, this card is actually made from metal. Did you see the new Amex cards? They're metal. They don't talk about this.
Right. So it could be a startup could be doing anything in AI, blockchain, IoT, Internet of Things. Like there's a lot of startups that are doing new stuff right now that are having a difficult time selling it. And it's probably because of how they're communicating. So just to build off what we're saying and to round out this conversation, what is your advice to these technically led founders who are trying to sell to business and can't right now?
I would probably give few options. Okay.
Options are good.
Yeah. One, change your mindset and learn. Okay, I was really technical guy. Like my brain is wired like technically. So I used to be this crazy guy that always talked about the technology, just technology. Guys,
That
you
was
need to adopt this because this is cool. This is technology, like this, all the benefits. Okay. At some point, I realized that it's not gonna fly forever, and it's actually not the right approach. It wasn't right for me. So I started to study business. I started to study psychology. Okay, just to understand how people think, what they expect, how people make decisions, what criteria they want to see when they make decisions. Then I started to adopt this to the business concepts, right? So first option, study. Okay, it's not easy, it's doable, and it takes time, a lot of time. So probably for many startup companies, it's not going to be really applicable. Let's be honest. Okay, it takes
right.
time.
Yeah.
Okay, it takes time, not just even study. It takes time to start applying the knowledge that you study.
Right.
Okay, it's not enough to like buy a subscription to gym and not going to the gym. We need to apply the knowledge. Okay, we need to master the knowledge, so it takes time. Okay, and it's a big barrier inside our mindset even to start adopting it. Like I remember myself struggling in many meetings where my original Misha wanted to talk about like technology, and I'm like, shut up, just sit and listen and just talk about values, KPIs, talk about this. Don't mention technology.
Yeah.
So it was a big struggle for me
You had to
until
hold
I
yourself down.
yeah. So another option, also not easy, but easier than first one, it's bring someone on board that doesn't know technology, expert in business, and let him drive the conversations with your potential clients. Go with him. Like if you will study the process, the sales cycle that adopted by big vendors, Xerox, IBM, HP, Palo Alto, like any big vendors in the world. And I just mentioned a few from technologies world, right? If you will see how they sell, you will see a really interesting pattern.
Mm.
They always, like, I remember this movie, like Men in the Black.
Yeah.
They always go with by couple. It's always two. One, the business developer that in most cases knows nothing about technology, just buzzwords, and learned something because he already involved in this. Okay,
Right.
so he knows kind of recipes, high level recipes, and pre-sales engineer, the person that knows technology. Usually it's kind of architects, the people that in many cases transitioning from the technology role to the more business role. Like some people want to make this switch in a career and do this. So you will see that all those big vendors always go kind of as a couple. In many cases, the first meeting happens even without technical person in a room. They just talk business. Guys, you're running e-commerce, not e-commerce. Like we had a client. It was really interesting. We had a client that was selling furniture across Canada, like a big franchise. They had a challenge that at Boxing Day, their website was crashing.
Uh-oh, wrong time.
Wrong time, right? What was the solution? Apparently, solution was about moving them to something scalable when it's needed. Cloud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
all technical people will always tell you like, oh, okay, it's easy to solve. Like we just need to move you to the cloud, configure auto-scaling groups, provision more servers, configure load balancer to distribute the traffic between those. Done. Next. Don't want to talk to this guy. This is what executives will say.
Right.
Right? When we talked about them, one of the questions was like, do you know how many customers coming to your website? How many sales you expect to have at that day? Okay. What are your historical records?
Right.
Oh, usually we sell 1,000 whatever. We have 1,000 sales in one day. I don't remember numbers. I just throwing now the number. So then you can do the reverse engineering. Thousands. Usually the conversion rate of visitors coming to the website, it's about 2.5%. So if it's 1,000, so technically we're talking about multiple thousands of people that came to the website. So you already know by getting some business metrics, the technical metrics that you needed. Oh, you got 50,000 people visiting your website overnight. 50,000 people generating this amount of load. But you don't need to talk about load, about database, about load balancers, about data encryption, about to executives. They just want to sell products online. You come and give them a solution. Guys, we believe that this solution will help to handle this amount of visitors to your website.
Yeah. And maybe you'll save the technical stuff for another conversation. I don't think the message.
You always need to bring a technical later on.
The message isn't you're selling ice to Eskimos, that you're just going in and making a good pitch in a nice good suit and you're done. But you're starting not from the technical perspective, from the business perspective, and then later, once everybody is interested, everybody's on board, then you show them what you got.
If they ask you.
Maybe
they don't even care. Maybe they don't even care. Like I remember one conversation where a client said to us, we know that we need to go to cloud. Can you guys take us there? And like, okay, yeah, we will. Do you have any ideas like where you want to go? Like, no, you tell me, I don't care. You tell me to which cloud should I go, right? And like, okay. So we started with a bunch of questions, like, can you describe your business? What you do, like what services you guys provide, in what industry, like as much as possible questions. And they're like, why it's matter? Cloud, it's cloud. I'm like, no, there's no cloud. Like there's no identical clouds. Have you ever seen identical clouds when you looked in the sky?
I don't think so, no.
And this is another important piece. We always need to educate our clients. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, I love the expression, the client's always right, because I strongly don't believe it. Because if the client was always right, if the client always had the answers, then why the hell are they calling you? It's like I feel, and maybe I got this idea from you because I've spent so much time with you over the years, but I've always felt that you need to educate your client. You need to educate your client the on what's in their best interest. It's having a successful project because your client doesn't know how to do a cloud project. So your client might think that they have some strong opinion, or they might think that they're kind of the boss because they're the ones paying you. And I think that's where you need to set the expectation and say, hey, you're hiring us to deliver something. And when a client screws up, you need to tell them. And I think the idea that the client's always right and you should just sit there and shut up and whatever they say goes is wrong. Did you give me that idea? Do you partially or fully believe that?
I don't know if I give you this idea, but I definitely don't live by the concept that client is always right. Not at all. So actually, all our engagements, all our partnership with clients starts from the point where we really define kind of responsibilities, roles, and we're managing expectations. And my message is always, sometimes not so direct, okay, because I try to be not too direct.
You try to be Canadian in your negotiations.
I'm trying. I try. I do my best. But the message is really like, guys, I'm here to protect your best interest.
Right.
It's going to be a case that my action will be seen that it's against you. I need your approval now to tell you fuck off. I'm not going to listen at that moment, and I will do what I believe is best for you.
And for the project.
And for the project, okay? And if not, I walk away.
Yeah.
We have right now even a document. It's really, really interesting document that actually says that if we walk away, like if you don't want us to proceed with something, you execute this document, we walk away, but you're required to remove any references to us, to people in a company, and to the company itself. And if you ever used our names, anything in any shape of form on a website, whenever, you're going to remove it. For me, I do protect my reputation. Okay, I believe that the reputation is the only asset that people have. Okay, and I do fight a lot actually with clients on that, because even this client in here in Dubai, it was a situation few times. It was actually twice when they wanted us to do something, and we stand on that it's wrong approach. You guys don't see the consequences on that. It's going to bite you to the ass big time, and it also will affect us. So I spent almost a month educating them why we are not doing this. And believe me, it was a message like, no, Misha, you don't understand. We are paying you. It was a message conveyed this way. I'm like, no, I'm here not because you pay me. I'm here because I love this project. I love what we do. You're paying me because you're getting delivery, you're getting value. Right. Not because you're asking my guys to write a code. It's not about this. So actually, they understood, and it came back. It was really tough time to go through this process. But when they really saw that it was right approach, it was right that we did it this way, it was really, really important for them. And now, now the communication is even different.
It's probably better now than it was before because you spoke up.
Much better. Now they're like, okay, we think about this. What's your idea? I'm like, let us check, let us do some homework, let us validate. This is how we believe it should be done. So now it's coming to the point where they're just telling us what they want to get. They're not trying to tell us how it should be done.
Right. But you had to set that expectation, and I think that's the key success factor. And when you do, it seems like you get more control in the project, you get more respect from the client, and it seems like that's the best way to build a relationship, is to speak up when you don't like something that's happening. I think every time I've spoken up in a project to the client and given the client shit, it could be, hey, I told you to do your homework and you didn't do your homework. You need to send me these documents. Like, you're not sending me these documents. We said we would finish the project by July 15th. How do we finish by July 15th if our guys are sitting on our ass today because you didn't give us access to something? It could be that. It could be something totally different. But I noticed that whenever I give the client shit to correct the path that we're on, immediately afterwards, there's more respect, more cooperation, and you're in a better position as a service provider. You need to speak up.
We need to have a communication for sure, constant, open communication channel.
Yeah.
And we need to remember that client is not always right. As long as we believe that whatever we do, it's about client, like that we want to protect his interest.
Yeah.
Of course, we need to protect our interest as well. Okay. But again, we don't need, I think the attitude of I will do whatever client asks just because they pay, it's an attitude of death. You're gonna die as a company. By the end of the day, you are the person who is responsible for failure. If they hired you to develop some solution for them, believe me, everybody will forget that they ask you to do this way when it will fail. You can say like, but you guys asked me to change this. Yeah, but we don't know. We hired you because you are expert. You needed to educate us that we are doing wrong. But so many companies in the world will say, listen, client is always right. I did whatever client asked me to do. No, I'm not. So I do fight with clients on many topics. Sometimes it's just friendly conversations. Sometimes it's kind of pushback. Sometimes it's not friendly. Clients get upset and they don't understand. And this is the time when I getting back and like not immediately, like sometimes like next day.
Yeah.
Like listen, just to be on the same page. Remember our first meetings. We talked about this. Up until now, did we prove that we protecting your best interest? Yes or no? If answer is yes, why you don't believe that what we're telling you now is going to be different?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that's the right way to do it. Yeah.
So communication.
Yeah. Final words or any parting topic or story that you want to add, Misha?
I would say people, like we all need to remember always, people work with people.
Yeah.
And as long as we will keep this mindset, people want to work with people, not with the logos. And if we will really start treating people as people and not even like, oh, it's my client, so I treat them you differently, then I think we will succeed with technically anything what we do.
Yeah.
Okay. And from business perspective, I do believe we need to always think about business from the angle of value. if you do business because you want to bring value, then you have a good chance to succeed. I'm not saying you're going to succeed because it's many other factors involved. But if you did this opening a business just because you believe you're going to make a lot of money in this business, probably even don't open. Like if your initial thought, initial driver, it's, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money here, I think it's going to fail. So if we keep this in mind, I think we will have really different lives. So.
Well, I have a lot of these things in mind for the last just about 7 years now. Lots of the time over pizza and glasses of red wine, and I've always appreciated all the advice you've given me because I didn't pay you. It was truly friendship, and hopefully you got to learn some things from me. I know I got to learn so much from you that, again, I had to take Advil and Tylenol when I got home because my brain was exploding with new information. And then next time you text me and saying, oh, let's go for a pizza, I had to think twice. Am I ready for a migraine? But every migraine, I made a little bit extra space. So I really, truly, Misha, I got to say thank you for investing a lot of extra time to help me go through my very first company, my first true business, and all the shit that I got involved with after that. So it developed into a really cool friendship, and I'm very appreciative of it.
And look, I really appreciate our friendship. I always enjoyed being around and have conversations. So thank you, man.
100%. Thank you. So this beautiful guy on the screen, if people want to get in touch with him, if people want to communicate with you, if people want to follow you and your 7,000 followers on LinkedIn, how do people get in touch, and what kind of plugs do you want to make? What should people know about?
I think probably the easiest way is LinkedIn. It's easy to find me there. And if people want to know a little bit more from my background, it could be people can see it there. I do use LinkedIn quite a lot, so it's always there. Okay, and
Awesome.
I'm on Twitter, but not active. Like I'm most active on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So there, of course, through any of companies that part of the group. So DeepDive, Tech, iRangers. So all the contact forms actually working, and you can share. You can. I don't want to share my email publicly because amount of messages and spam that I get, it's sometimes insane.
I could only imagine.
I do promise that I respond to every message that I get if it's a legit message. Okay. So I do my best to respond to everybody who is writing.
Well, I know why. I finally figured out why you're getting so many spam messages. Because you know what happens when you Google image search you, Misha? Have you done this before? Literally, side by side is a picture of you and a picture of Albert Einstein. So I think psychologically people are connecting the dots. I don't know if you intended this or not, but you've created some kind of association. So if I need some branding advice, I thought I was pretty good at it, but I'm going to go to you.
I didn't see this before. Wow.
Really appreciate the chat, friend. Thanks. I'm going to enjoy sleeping this one off and maybe take an Advil or two as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Have a good night.
Looking forward to more chats. Yes, you too. And looking forward to having another chat in the future to see how these projects pan out too. Good luck next week with the New York one.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Have a
Good night, Misha. Thanks. Bye-bye.